Okay, we have the green bars, we have the live counter sticking up, so we should now be live, which of course means welcome back to the Storytime Network. We are back with more D&D theory crafting.
Yeah.
No, we got all
Favorite way
that.
to play the game.
We got all that done either at the end of last session or during the week.
What we're going to do is we're all going to make one character for every class together, and we're going to theory craft out their builds from level 1 to 20, starting off with Druid.
Oh, fuck.
Don't do that to me. Do not do this to me, Kaido.
I would ironically think that would be a great way to introduce yourself to the classes and everything.
Could be.
It would be very thorough, but you'd get a good understanding of all the different classes at least.
But for now, we have the actual D&D campaign with Aldane, the half-elf paladin, Dairon the Genasi rogue, Felix the Eladrin painter, and Seamus the half-elf bard. The four of you, as well as Rua and Akra, I nearly said the wrong name, that's why I did that. Yeah. The six of you finally had your 6 months in your training, leaving a lot stronger than you were before, obviously.
We got strong.
You were given a few days. You're given a few days before the actual war council starts. During this time, you've been given the opportunity to catch up and reconnect with some people within Centralis. Dairon had a chat with Sora and Hannah at the finances. Seamus bumps into Jade and had a surprisingly nice talk with her. Aldane had a heart-to-heart with his mother and sister. And Felix, I did Felix last because I actually forgot who Felix spoke to.
Ration.
Yeah. Felix, I can't believe I forgot. Literally, honestly, it's the guy you always go to. But yeah, you spoke with Ration. We were going to do a follow-up with more people, but then we had the entire second session, which was meant to be a quick break, be an entire character building / theory crafting session. And even now, only now, some of the players have kind of settled on all of their stuff. But, yeah. So, I'm going to say you've all had your chats with them, you know. Now you have another person or collection of people to speak to. I'm going to make a roll to see who goes first this time.
Oh boy.
And I opened up the wrong tab. Here we go. Seamus, who do you speak to after Jade? Don't forget, you are all allowed to speak to the same character, so if Seamus wanted to speak to Sora as well, that could be fine, or anything else.
Let's see.
I remember as well, actually, because you wanted to look for the person who taught you Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, should I do
them. I'm going to say you can't. You'd have to try the next day, and we're not.
Oh, okay.
We're going to be after this. We're going to be doing the War Council and kind of speeding things along. So.
Okay. So then.
Not to railroad. It's just I don't want the pacing to be, you know.
Yeah, I gotcha. It's not a specific person, but let's just say I meet with a contact from Tennoyama to get kind of a.
There is an embassy.
Yeah, well, it would be more like a personal contact that I have with my little connections over there.
Give me a investigation check to find your contacts. Yep. So it takes you several minutes, but you do eventually find your contact near the embassy, actually, for Tennoyama. They give you a wave and just say, "Oh, Seamus, what do you need?"
Just looking to see how things are going across the border. Is that bird brain behaving himself?
Yes. We believe he's actually heading this way. Soon.
Assumedly for the War Council.
Of course.
Yeah. Hey, things that back home are running smoothly. We haven't had any hiccups, have we?
Well, but with the Black Ring soldiers fortifying their borders, we've been trying to involve ourselves in some skirmishes with them. Nothing in the way of outright war, but we might have, disturbed some of the local wildlife, and they've happened to wander into Black Ring's borders. And he
Good.
gives
We
you
want to keep our direct involvement under wraps as best we can. I'd recommend we just keep trying to supply our allies in the fight against Black Rain.
From what
Within
we
reason,
know,
of course.
From what I know, Tenoyama is actually going to be supplying some people with griffins and other creatures to ride on.
Great. Sounds like Tenoyama's government is taking this seriously and preparing well.
I mean, we've always hated Black Rain. We've always had plenty of countermeasures for whatever they might try to do.
Yeah, it's all well and good on paper and in theory, but with it really happening, this is big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, at least, hopefully, this will mean the end of any strife between all of our countries. Or at the
That's
very
the
least,
goal.
on this landmass.
On that topic, have you gotten in contact with anybody sympathetic from Black Rain that's still on the other side?
On our side?
On the other side.
I mean, not really, no.
Okay. Just wondering if there were any whispers of defectors beyond what we've already received.
I mean, I would say probably 1 out of every 100th person in Tenoyama or anywhere on this continent would probably sympathize with Black Rain. But at least if you live in Tenoyama, and it sounds bad really when you say it out loud, but they're probably too scared to want to defect.
That makes sense.
Give me a history check, actually, as he mentions that.
Man, history.
So you know from history, when Onyx became absorbed into Black Rain, you know that was actually because of defecting. A large number of people, a group actually made a coup and overthrew that town. And ever since then, from that time with the Peak Soul, which was about, to your recollection, over 2 decades. And it is a law that Hayato is actually trying to get rid of. Traitors are actually given the death penalty with no trial.
Makes sense.
So a lot
Yeah.
of people are very again, like he said, people might have sympathies for Black Rain or have ideas, but if they get caught, they know they're fucked.
Oh, I think you might have misunderstood my question. My question was about defectors from Tenoyama to Black Rain. It was the other way around, from Black Rain to Tenoyama.
Oh! Okay. Well, he then says, right, you weren't very clear. But it's fine.
Isn't
I
your
mean-
job to be smarter than me?
I mean, you're supposed to be good at oration. You're a bard.
You just
Are
hear
all of you-
you just hear like a loud shout in the distance. And I thought you were smart.
You know, you're supposed to be the lyricist, and you can't say a cohesive sentence.
The lack of
Anyway.
listening comprehension, is that more on the speaker or the listener?
It sounds like you're a Jujutsu Kaisen ninja here. But in that case, not that we know of. I mean, you went to Black Ring. You saw how bad it was.
Yeah.
The only
Even if
people
they
who
wanted
would
to
be-
get out, they might not be able to.
Yeah. Not only that, but the weather's that bad in the terrain because of how constant the rainfall is. It doesn't make for easy getaways.
Mm-hmm. Well, keep your eyes and ears peeled.
Already have, don't worry.
And with that, I just kind of let him go at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted an
So-
update on the Tenoyama stuff.
Jack, who is Aldane speaking to next?
Oriana.
You sure
So-
it's not Dairon?
You,
Okay, really? No.
you actually go to Oriana's house, and she isn't there.
Huh.
Give me a investigation check.
Oh boy, oh boy. What could this possibly mean?
So, you walk around the area, and you know there's a park nearby that you and Oriana would frequent. You haven't been there in ages since you've, well, become an adventurer.
Yeah.
I just had the
So you-
funniest idea.
Please no.
Kuro
Sheriff-
wasn't just disguising his identity as Drake Blackburn by being Kuro. He was disguising it by also being Oriana.
They've never
God
been in
damn
the
it.
same room together.
It's true.
I mean, honestly,
Y'all really?
if this was like given an adaptation where it was like animated or drawn, I would want it to be a case where they are conspicuously never in frame together. But
It
no.
would be very funny for me specifically.
So, in that case, Kuro would be Kuro is very attractive, but he's not androgynous.
Dairon could probably pull it off. That's about it.
But yeah. So, God, that's giving me the giggles now. You head to that park, and you actually see Oriana reading a book. And you also see, like on a bench near her, is Tora and Zara sat next to each other. Their legs are touching because they're both big, muscular men, and the benches would be big enough for like 3 people. Like if Oriana had 2 people sat next to each other, they could be on there all right. But like Tora and Zara are like wider than most people, you know, because again they're big, buff men. And you watch them both smoking cigarettes. Both of them are looking straight ahead and not even talking to each other.
Aldane carefully avoids that as he walks up to Oriana.
Oh, Aldane, it's good to see you again. And as she says that, you see Zaras looking over in your direction, takes a whiff of his cigarette, and then continues looking forward.
I felt the shadow of death pass over me for an instant there. How are you doing?
I mean, we're doing alright. I thought I'd come and spend some time with my father, and then we met Tora. And then you've turned up.
Well, that looks like it's a bit awkward over there, so I can't imagine you're altogether happy that your family time was interrupted.
I mean, I like Tora. He's nice.
He's a pretty good dude.
He can sing really good as well.
Oh, really? I'm gonna
Hmm.
just have to see if I can get him to talk to Seamus, see what can happen there.
He doesn't like
That could be-
singing in front of many people.
Unfortunate.
It's only because he got very drunk the other day.
Huh.
He was drinking, he was roaring, he was punching the air while he was, like, singing. It was a whole thing.
Huh.
My father told me as well about what you're planning to do. In saving Kuro.
Yeah, it's... We have a lot of responsibility on our shoulders with this. But he's our friend. And there's a lot of other people we need to liberate as well.
Just promise me you won't die.
I promise I won't. And if I do die, I will be back.
No, we aren't talking about if you will die. Promise me that you won't die.
I promise.
Good. Otherwise, I might have to find a different suitor.
Oh, now that's just being mean.
The moment she mentions that, you hear the sound of metal grinding on the floor, and you see Zaras, like, he's sat up in a way where he's basically pushed his feet against the ground, and you know the benches are actually, like, fixed to the ground. And you see that the bench is, like, rotated a good, like, 40-ish degrees in your direction.
I'm just gonna have to make sure not to die, though.
And you see, like, Tara, like, what the fuck was that about? I just got ash on my trousers. Fine, you're paying for the next cigarette. And you notice though, Zaras hasn't, like, Zaras is still facing forward for him. He's not looking directly at you, but like... yeah.
Yeah, I guess I will just have to make sure I don't die.
How was the training, by the way?
Intense, but very worthwhile.
I actually asked Sakura if I could join you guys. But he said with the amount of supplies that would be in the dome, that realm of his, there won't be enough to sustain more than 6 people.
That's unfortunate.
You actually know as well, Aldane, when it came to food portions, Rua and Akra were actually getting almost double the size of food you were getting.
Aldane does not bring this up.
You also never found out how Akra was able to procure food and prepare meals, but like... who knows?
It's hard to say. Who can say?
I've been doing well with my magical training, though.
That's good to hear.
Guy and Oryx have both been training me in magic, and Turin when he can.
You have quite the selection of teachers.
That young human boy, Leon, is it? He's also been watching me train.
I can't recall if he mentioned that he wanted to train to become a mage of some sort.
He just said he likes learning a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really say he wanted to learn magic, but... and she just shrugs. I don't know.
Curious.
But yeah, so far I can cast 2nd level magic.
That's impressive.
Who knows? Maybe one day I'll be stronger than you. Or at the very least, I'll be able to drop Meteor Swarm eventually.
Oh, I'd love to see that. That sounds like
Oh.
a great time.
Or I could even true polymorph into a dragon.
Oh my.
Make a wish.
As that happens, you almost feel you can see Zaras just in your periphery. He isn't looking at you directly, but you can feel just like you actually watch as, like, in the background, what's it called? Tora's actually fanning himself with, like, the collar of his shirt. He looks like he's actually getting warm. And you almost see what looks like heat waves emanating from Zaras.
I like your boss music.
I'm hearing some ominous music somewhere. I can't quite place it.
Why is her chanting Latin?
Oh no!
As she, like, glances behind and sees her father, and he's still smoking his cigarette, he's, like, nearly down to the very end. Like, there's less cigarette than there is the cigarette butt.
Mm-hmm.
You watch as Oriana actually takes your hand and gets up. how about we go somewhere a bit more... well, less here.
Yes, it does seem to be getting a bit warm. Maybe somewhere cooler.
As she leads you away, you just hear in the background, "No, let them go." And as you glance behind, if you do, you see Tora giving a thumbs up in your direction. And as you are going off on your own with Oriana, I'm actually going to say we're moving on to the next person. Feel free to imagine what Oriana and Aldane did privately.
And clearly the lewdest of actions, holding hands.
Of course.
Felix.
Oh yes,
your
holding
turn.
hands.
Oh my.
Yes, it's Felix's turn.
Probably.
I just saw your thing in the chat again.
What?
I just saw your thing in the chat.
If only.
Maybe
If I just showed up, it would be funny as hell.
Maybe that's why Oriana led Aldane away. But yes, Felix, it's your turn.
Probably Sora. I'm struggling to think who else to go to.
I mean, you could talk to someone you've not really spoken to very much. Some of you were saying last session you don't have a lot of contacts.
Yeah. Now I'll
Go
go.
talk to Cammy.
You just thought the longest one-person conversation ever.
I
Yes.
mean, I'll
It would be very funny.
I'll prep my monologue and I'll go to her next. But I'd still say
Will
Sora.
the
'Cause
monologue contain
I mean,
to
if
be
you wanna
or not to
I mean, if
be?
you want to talk to Sora, that's fine. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
tell you not to.
no, I definitely think Sora's on that list. It's just, part of a smaller list than, say, Aldane, who's lived here his
So-
entire life.
As you make your way to go up the steps to the office, you actually pass by Dairon.
Hi, Darren.
Hey,
Who are you going to
Hey,
talk to
how are you?
next?
I'm gonna go see if I can find Tora. I have a feeling that there's an angry tiefling. Very angry tiefling that might need, that might mean that Tora needs rescuing from.
Okay.
Tora's in there, as is Gloria, so.
As is who?
Sorry, I totally forgot her name.
Hannah.
Hannah.
So as you go up the steps, Felix, you knock on the door, and you hear the familiar assistant. Come in.
I go in.
As you enter, you see Sora is lay on his side with his back facing you on his couch.
Hi, guys.
Sora, get up, and she throws a bucket in, and it hits his side. You notice there's another book landed in a similar spot near him. And you watch as Sora, rolls over onto his side. Ah, Felix, one moment. And he, sits up and adjusts his suit jacket. How can I help you today? Are you looking to stake out alone?
I mean, I was more gonna give money to you.
Am I taking out alone?
Well, I know Darren did that thing of giving you money and you gave them more money. I'm not really sure how it works.
Oh, that. I mean, I was actually looking at closing up this branch for a while.
Oh, it's fine then.
I was looking at opening an office in Blackrain when things are all said and done.
I mean, hey, that's probably a good idea. I can get you. We can get you an in with the likely new ruler of Blackrain.
Oh, who would that be?
Oryx.
Oh! Very nice.
Like, we were gonna do that, weren't we?
We kind of made a
Yeah.
promise, and considering we outed him, we should probably keep that promise.
Oryx is
No,
good
I
people.
agree, but also
Yeah.
very funny.
He nods. Oryx is good people. I can see him doing very well.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to do worse than the current ruler.
Exactly.
Well, someone might take that as a challenge.
I actually spoke with some people at the embassy the other day, and they've been telling me how they've been luring local wildlife and pissing them off and luring them into Black Crane's turf.
Hmm. Well,
Apparently, they've even had entire ideas of loading charges along the border and blowing it up to basically create a man-made canal.
certainly be a way to create difficult terrain.
I mean, at that point, a bridge would have to be made.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently that's like... What letter of plan did Hayato say? Plan O?
Well, it's nice to know we've got that many plans. Certainly, you know.
Well, the main plan is apparently to bring in griffins from Tennoyama to help with some of the Cordician soldiers. Mostly the sharpshooters and the casters.
Well, definitely know that the griffins are effective. We rode griffins.
I heard. Hayato gave me the report. I mean, heck, I also speak to your dad semi-regularly.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. We drink every now and then.
That is a
He talks a lot about you.
fun bit of information that I did not know.
I mean, the reason you have your house is he actually took out a loan.
Oh. Oh. Are you
Do you
going
want
to
to
be...
know what the Do you want to know what the reason was? Why I let him have his money?
Okay.
I was allowed to name his firstborn.
Wait, what?
How far in the past was this loan?
This was before you came into the picture. I said firstborn drunkenly, not knowing he already had a kid, and
Right.
he just accepted it. The problem was he already had a firstborn, so it made that null and void. So he technically outfoxed me.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that, yeah. What name would you have given me?
Just shrugs and picks up one of the two books that's near him. Give me a perception to read the back of the book so you know what it is. This is the title of the book.
Oh boy.
Sensible ways to manage your investments.
Okay.
And he flicks through a random page. I have nothing. I actually don't even know what I would have called you. Or I don't know. You get the point, though.
Yeah. Are you gonna be talking to him anytime soon?
I already sent out a letter 2 weeks ago.
Okay. It's fine.
So, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even if I don't do the whole give you money, you give me money back, could you look after my money while I'm gone? I don't really.
This isn't a bank.
But we're friends.
This isn't a bank.
Worth a try.
Out of character, that's one of the things I love doing to deny people. Just repeat the same thing again. Sorry. But yeah. Yes. As much as it'd be nice to look after your money, I can't guarantee its safety here.
Alright, well, I'll let somebody else choose my middle name then. Okay.
It wouldn't have been your middle name. It'd have been your full name. First and middle name. But anyway, it's not the point. I'm not even your godfather, so... And he just, like, shrugs.
No, that's Evan. Duh.
What are your plans anyway after all this is done?
Well... We've still got a cult to take care of that's pretty widespread.
True, you do.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think they're gonna be doing, you know, doing active stuff that we need to get involved in the aftermath. So, well, fingers crossed at least, you know. But, I mean, we got to know one of the guys on in Bo Vedman when we went into the Underdark together. He's not a bad guy, so you know, maybe we can work something out.
That's good to know. It'd be sad to know that humans might die out if things go wrong.
Hey, if nothing else, the guy we met in Bo Vedman has a kid brother who's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Leon. Oh, you mean you know Colgan? Oh, as he's called Colgan.
Yeah.
I've crossed paths with him once or twice. I gave him a loan when I was last in Bo Vedman. I think I gave him, and he counts on his fingers, 700,000 gold even. It's because of Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 700,000 gold.
Did he say what he needed that money for?
I didn't ask.
Fair enough. Did he
I
pay
could
it
tell he's
back?
the kind of Yeah. In fact, he even gave me 800,000 gold.
Fair enough.
I don't even charge interest. He just forgot.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll see Colgan again when we go over there. I mean, we still have to pick up Seamus's hook horror from the Underdark.
Oh, Seamus is a hook horror.
Yeah, it was a weird
Yeah,
one.
it's still in the Underdark.
It's in Siltranok. It was before we went into the Underdark.
Yeah.
No, it was while you're in the Underdark.
Yeah, it was.
I
It
thought
was.
so.
We brought it with us into the Underdark and left it
Because
there.
it was one of the displaced purple worm victims.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, have you heard of what was her name? Nivara Moran?
No.
Well, maybe that's a contact you can make in the Underdark.
I don't want to go in the Underdark.
I don't blame you. There's a lot of stuff that aren't fun.
I mean, I have wings. It sounds cramped and claustrophobic.
You'd be surprised. It was relatively roomy in there, especially after
I'll take
after a purple worm had been through the tunnel.
He just gives you a visible frown.
Well, if you're not going to take my money, I should leave you to your lounging.
Thank you.
Try
You
not
know
to...
what? I think I might go for a walk. I'm sick of having my shoulder have books thrown at it. It's the second time today.
Try not to hurt him too much, Hannah.
You can handle it. If he wanted to, he could catch the books. And she throws a book at him, and he does catch it really easily. See? He's just that much of a layabout, he'll let it happen to him so he doesn't have to exert any movement. It took me months to get him to stop smoking in the office.
Were you on fire?
Cigarettes.
Oh. Wow. I thought better of you.
Me? Sora points at himself. Who are you to judge? You ran away from home when you were young.
Who hasn't run away from home on occasion?
True, actually, this is me throwing a stone in a glass house.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all the party, Aldane is the only one that hasn't run away from home.
Well, I'll leave you to prepare for the war. I hope you have a good rest of your day, Felix. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for at least talking to me. Even if you didn't take my money.
Yeah, because we're not a bank.
But
What do you
Dyron
expect?
gave you money!
Yes, as an investment. And I'm not taking investments right now because we're opening another office.
Fine.
I actually forgot to mention to Darren that we're currently freezing returns on investments at the moment. You'll have to tell him when you see them again.
I mean, if you're gonna go out for a walk, they said they were gonna go and try and talk to Tora, so, you know.
Oh, Tora's good people.
Yeah.
Him, Rash, and I have actually went out in the night once. And Tora has a lovely singing voice.
You know, I'm surprised Russian got time off. He told me he's been working so hard recently.
He actually has.
No, I wasn't being... What?
He's only extorted 4 places of business this week. And it's a Tuesday.
But yeah, considering how, you know, difficult to find Darren is, probably better to just look for Tora.
Well, I'll see you later, Felix.
Okay.
I'll make sure to hold down the fort while you guys invade Black Crane. And as you leave, Darren, you
Yes.
look for Tora, yes?
Yes.
Give me an investigation check, because you don't know about this park that Aldane would know about. Yeah, you find him easily. You first try Oriana's house. There's no response. And then you look around and find the park. And you see Tora and Zaros on a park bench that seems to have been twisted, like, rotated like 40-ish degrees.
Dyron just walks up, like shaking their head, and goes, I see you've seen Aldane.
Oh, it's good to see you, Darren. Tora gives you a wave.
How are
As
you
he
both?
as he dimps his cigarette out. Good. My Kyodai and I were just sat here while Oriana was having some reading, just enjoying the nice, serene, of serenity of the park.
Nice.
Zaris is still smoking. He's smoking a cigarette. It's halfway gone, and he's just still looking ahead. You know you are allowed to talk, Zaris. And Zaris just glances over and says, I know. It is good to see you, though, Daron. How was the training?
I think it went well. I'm at least faster.
I can tell. From the way that you're moving and the build of you, you seem to have got some good gains from it. Might even be fun to spar one day.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind that. chance to spar against the two of you, at least one-on-one.
You could. Tora just nudges Zaris and says, "Well, you could always bring Aldane to make it a 2-on-2."
That I'd actually pay money.
Zaris just rolls his eyes.
But glad to see you're both doing well.
After what happened with the prison, we had a good heart-to-heart. Which is to say, we both punched each other for about 10 minutes.
I was about to say, can I see the craters?
We went out for drinks, had some Eastern barbecue, and Zaris just shakes his head. You had Eastern barbecue, you just wanted nothing but fucking tripe. And then Tora just shrugs, and it's like, tripe's good meat. Anyway, yeah, we did that, we did other things, yeah. All is right.
Speaking of old grievances and tasks, I actually have been meaning to talk to you about Powered Heart. And
What do you want to know about him?
I want to know about Barkeep.
Barkeep joined not long around the time we did. I think Barkeep joined... Was it 2 or was it 3 months? Tora looks at Zaris. 5 weeks. 5 weeks after we joined. Yeah. Tora then says, yeah. I was 15 at the time when I joined anyway. Zaris, how old are you again? 22. And Tora then nods again. And yeah. I mean, we were on good terms with Barkeep, but Barkeep was more so other members' friends than us. Barkeep was always more behind the scenes, and we were always people going out on the front.
That does sound like him, if I'm honest.
Well, it's more that Barkeep is half our width in size.
I
And
mean...
not as tall or muscular as us, so...
Right. I mean, it's not shocking. For sure.
Barkeep actually wanted to try and bulk up like we were.
That actually is shocking.
He gave up after, like, what was it? A year? And Zaris just looks over. It was 1 month. Yeah. God. You know what? Being a prison for a good significant portion of your life really fucks up with how far back things actually are.
Yeah, I've heard that sense of time is the first thing to go. But I asked because I've realized over the past while I was in the chamber with the others, I don't know very much about him or his past.
I mean, the idea is that you aren't meant to.
No, I know, but
And I feel like if you truly know someone, you don't really need to know them. At least that's my opinion.
that's fair. I did want to know exactly. Not that I wanted to know who he was, but more just like, is the barkeep that I knew, is that consistent? Or was that just...
What do you mean?
I'm not the only orphan barkeep grabbed off the street.
No? No.
I'm not gonna delude myself into thinking I was the first, nor will I think of myself as the last one.
The fact that Barkeep was the one to pick you up should tell you how lucky you are.
Right. And I wanted to know
You're
if that is
so
honest.
well adjusted might be generous. I mean, you'd know better than we would, but the fact that you're able to be the person you are speaks to Barkeep's character.
I recently sent him a letter before we went into the Underdark.
Did you?
And I'm not expecting a response back. Mostly because it was me saying I'm going to war with Throne.
I mean, that probably explains this, what Cammy gave us. And Tora reaches into his coat and hands you a letter.
Oh. I wasn't
This-
expecting a response, if I'm honest.
This came a day ago.
May I guess, out of character, can I open it?
Yeah? I'll send you the DM, because it's not very long. Let me... One second, and...
I guess the question I'm having is, like, you guys knew Barkeep for a long time, a lot longer than I did.
Mhm.
Is he the person that he was to me? Like, to the orphan?
I mean... We already had families when we joined the gang. So it's a more different relationship than what you would have had with him. I liked him, Tora says. And Zaros just glances over and just crosses his arms. Yeah, he's alright. You can never be too comfortable with people in that kind of line of work.
No.
Being honest is usually more scary than it is being a trickster. It's probably why a lot of people didn't like us in that gang and why it was so easy to get rid of us.
I mean, the fact that I'm here probably says a lot about who I am, then.
I mean, Zaros just shrugs. I mean, back in our day, things were a lot more honor-based. Having a reputation was built on the idea that you could talk the talk and walk the walk. That's why we were given the mission that we were given, to kill all them people. It's just that over time... How do I describe it? Over time, things changed. Profits were being put above the... How would you say it? They were being placed above the people, so to speak. And by people, I don't mean the public, I mean as in the groups, the gangs. You know, back in the day, if you're in the gang for at least a decade, people might give you a nickname. If you're in the gang for 2 decades, you might get a nickname that sounds cool. And, you know, we could have stayed in longer, but I know I, at least, was gonna leave eventually.
Yeah.
And Zaros just adds, I wanted to leave anyway, because I was, at that point, having a daughter. And she didn't know about that life.
We never overlapped, right?
No. How old are you, Dairon?
It got funky. It got funky in the room, but I was 19 before I left.
Yeah, no. We haven't been in the gang for nearly 20 years. So you would have joined around the time when a lot of the values would have started getting twisted.
Yeah. By the time I was getting fully inducted, everyone had a code name.
Ugh. Zaros just scoffs.
I was probably they were actually trying to insult me with mine. Omen.
I mean, there's worse names. Can't think of one off the top of my head, but yeah.
It was one of those damned by faint praise kind of things.
Usually when anyone calls those names, we usually just beat the shit out of them. It's hard to talk bad about someone when their jaws need to be wired shut.
Like, we can make this, like, we can kind of go off, like, kind of just have it be a in the background kind of thing, like, but I want to, like, trade stories, almost.
Yeah. That's fine. So as you trade stories, I'm going to say that the day ends, and I'm actually going to, if you want to call a very small break as well,
Okay.
and then I will also find some new music, because this will be the War Council.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, again. If you're here.
Yes, I'm still here.
I've actually caught up with Star Rail's story now. Have you
Oh,
done
nice.
it?
I haven't, if I'm honest.
I really enjoy it, which is surprising because I actually stopped doing the story for like a few weeks because I really hated the idea of going back to the Lorfu.
I didn't know how I was gonna feel. I don't like what's her face, the sword girl.
Yunli.
I hate sword girl.
I've warmed up to her more. I'm really glad that Yang Ching is kind of not becoming potential man, though.
No, I think it's good, but I just really dislike her character, the way she was introduced. It just
I mean-
rubbed me wrong.
I've not done her character story yet. I've only just done the main story.
Yeah,
And I've done one of March's like endings for her training.
oh, the training is actually really fun. I actually like that game a lot.
My brother has been telling me though he really doesn't like Argenti's new voice in it.
Oh, really?
I know a lot of people who don't like his new voice. I actually have the character, so I hear him in combat. I don't think his voice actor's bad. I just don't think he was the right I don't think his voice actor should have been that character. I think his previous voice actor was a much better job at it. And like my brother was saying, he was thinking that Locha's voice actor would have suited better, or someone of that kind of vocal range for Argenti, which I agree. And I'm still not used to Hua having a new voice either.
I'm honest, I haven't made my way too deep in yet. I'm still like, I've only just gotten to the bit where Mose and the fire guy, like the fire fox, they have like this weird conversation with Merlin's Claw.
Yeah, I really like Zhao Xun. What's it called? I didn't like him at first because he felt very 4-star to me. And I'm still of the opinion his design is kind of like a 4-star. I think there's better 4-stars I think there's 4-stars in the game that have way better designs than he does, like Serval. But I've really come to like him now, and I really want to get him. I actually am planning on getting Fei Zhao as well, because she's supposed to be really strong. Because she's a wind follow-up character.
Maybe a good follow-up character, because I miss Jade, and I don't have the ability to do spinning top Herta.
I'll be honest though, Jade is actually quite missable.
Really?
You miss nothing not getting her.
Interesting. Because I've heard like she's really good for for like doing the spinning top.
She's good, but if you want follow-up, Aventurine, Clara, Topaz, Himiko, and Ratio are all better. Himiko's actually become in vogue now, because you can actually build Himiko as a break effects character,
Nice.
and she actually excels at it really well. March is also pretty good if you wanted to do her as follow-up. And she also works with break effects as well, so...
Nice.
Apparently Blade is also coming back into vogue. Just because of, like, people are building him around break, and of other things as well that have made him look better. Because before some of the stuff in Penacony, Blade was actually considered one of the weakest destruction characters. But now if he gets a rerun, probably like, I don't know, late this year at this point, I would probably recommend pulling from if you really need win presents. Otherwise, Fei Zhao is supposed to be really good. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to how the story continues. I don't want I believe the Lawfus for the rest of this version though, and I'm not happy with that, admittedly. Because for me it's taken away from Penacony. I also finished the current event in Genshin as well, finally.
Oh, you finally finished the
Simulanka event, yeah.
I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was like a fun, silly.
I stopped partway in, partly just because I was like wanting a break from the game. I was still playing it every day, but like I was just logging in to mostly do what's it called, like my dailies. But I finished it and I really enjoy it. It's really made me want to get Wanderer. I'll be honest though, I'm probably gonna take a break from the game for a bit, because there's no one in Natlan that's really got me excited. Unless Capitano is actually a woman, like Firefly,
That would be so funny. That would be so funny.
I don't want him, because he looks like he's... When Al-Haytham is the most muscular man in the game, that's a problem.
Right?
I think it's hilarious that Al-Haytham's buff, but I don't like that Capitano looks like a fucking string bean. I'm actually playing them two and Zenless at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, I'm saving in Zenless at the moment because I don't want the two characters that have... I don't want the character that's currently out in Zenless, and I don't want the next character that's on the banners. Because neither of them give me anything that I need. And I'll be honest as well, Zenless only having women on their temporary 5 stars so far is really not doing anything for me. I'm of the opinion that the men generally are not only more fun in design, but usually more cool to me. I don't know.
You know who, like, actually I really enjoy? Like,
Who?
in terms, like, from Zenless Zone?
Who?
Antoine.
I really like Anton as well. He's one of my favorite characters. Because
Him and the bear are, like, easily my tops.
I'll be honest, I would have preferred it if Grace was a 4-star and Anton was a 5-star.
Yeah.
I think Anton genuinely has more 5-star energy to me than Grace. And I like Grace. Bellabog's my favorite faction though.
Same. Hard same.
And I do like Victoria Housekeeping. I actually just got Lycon recently, and I've been doing well with him. I'm interested in the Sons of Caldelon, but what's it called? Because they're the next two characters that are going to be coming out. But I want more Guy 5-stars.
I'm surprised there aren't.
It's, I don't know, like, my problem is though, it's the problem why I don't care for the women too much is because like they all have like same face and they all look very similar. Like, I don't know if it's me, but a lot of video games, not even just gacha but in general, they'll make all the men look like so varied and unique, and then all the women look the same.
Genshin, it's like very odd, I feel like.
Like, because there's some really cool women characters in like Genshin, at least. You know, Yellen, I would say, is one of the best female characters they've done ever in Genshin.
Yeah, I actually really I got lucky with her. I
didn't get her in time.
I got her. I got her on level 40. It was like, what the fuck? I wasn't even trying. What's
I
happening?
lost my 50-50 to Dia.
Oh.
Not only did I lose my 50-50 to her, guess how many constellations I have of her?
6?
4.
Oh my god.
I have her more than any other 5-star in the game, and I am a launch player.
I have Tainari, mostly. That's my most.
I don't have him. Neither me or my brother have him.
That is funny. He's not a bad Dendro, like, DPS, if I'm honest.
I mean, it's hard when the bar for Dendro DPS now is Alhaitham.
Yes.
When Alhaitham is like one of the strongest characters in the game, Tanari's good. It's just, I don't know. I just want Tanari so I can have him.
You want it's the completionist bug, yeah.
Well, no, I just want him. I've not had him for years. But yeah, it's really bad though. I don't like a lot of the Natlan characters. Or at the very least, none of them have really struck out to me.
The only one is Lion Mommy.
Yes, yeah. I like her, and I actually like the Dendro guy with the pixels.
Yeah, he seems like usually at least looks cool.
Apparently, though, if you've got Alhaitham, he isn't that valuable.
Fortunately, I don't have Alhaitham, so...
Well, I mean, in that case, then yeah, you know. But yeah, I liked the Archon at first. The more I've seen of her, the less I'm interested in her.
Yeah.
Because maybe this sounds bad. I feel like it's a bit too late for people to be complaining about the skin tones when Sumeru.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
I don't
that.
think it's bad. I don't think it's bad that people are having problems. I just feel like it's crazy that it's only now that people are complaining when.
Well, I mean, people did complain. I think it's just it wasn't loud enough.
Yeah, and you know, like, and it's a shame because, like, you know, I'd have been happy if more darker skin characters were in Sumeru. It's funny though how Sumeru's got the best characters across the board though, because like, I'd say the worst character in Sumeru is Dori. But she's also like the worst character in the game, in terms of likability. I mean,
right?
Like Lolly, and also a massive piece of shit, doesn't do anything for me.
Does it do anything for anyone whose opinion you actually value?
Well, one of the most recent adverts for Honkai Star Rail had the two female the words. They did an advert promoting like the game, and the advert focused on the feet of two of the female child characters.
But why though?
And both of them are shoeless in their designs, like they walk around barefooted.
Yunli and
Yeah, it was like a recent ad where both of them had, they have their feet exposed anyway, but the ad focused on their feet. It's heinous.
Again, fucking why though?
I'll be honest, I'm not surprised that Genshin especially has, like, pedo allegations aimed at it, when, like, a lot of the time they keep doing short women characters of vague ages. And yet, I would argue they're not even, like, the most interesting characters. Like, for me, a lot of the coolest characters in, like, Genshin, for example, would be the tall men. Because they're all, like, genuinely cool.
Like, fucking, what's his face? Zhongli is actually dope as hell.
Neuvillette, Alhaitham, Ito, Toma.
Hayato.
It's why,
Exactly.
like, with this campaign, I wanted to make, like, the characters who are children, like, what's the way to describe it? Like, they're still, like, I didn't want any, like, weird implications or, like, like, Jade and Leon are very much teenagers, and,
Right, it's weird that they're child soldiers.
Yeah, and, like, Leon was brought up in an environment where, like, his culture around him was very heavily about indoctrination. And Jade, to be fair, like, she was raised to fight by Akira for self-defense. She just found out she really likes fighting and decided to apply that to helping others by joining the Guard. And it helps that the law enforcement, at least in Centralis, are actually good people. Because, this is a fictional story. But speaking of fictional stories, are we all here to continue?
Kaido, could you send me that letter, by the way?
Oh yeah, I forgot. This is the only thing that it says on the letter.
Can we just real quick? I think Dairon, like, hold on. I'm gonna do a. Would keeping my face like still would that be a wisdom save or what?
Yeah. To not show emotion, I like to keep it in.
I think Dairon, like, you can see their lip like tremble a bit, like their
clenching
throat
of the
catches,
jaw.
and like their throat catches, but they try their best.
Let me find the song I wanted to use. No, I clicked on the wrong fucking song and now I can't find the one I wanted to use. Is it this one? Nope, this is Combat. No. Yeah, we'll use this one. Here you go, Mel. Here's the new song.
Okay.
I don't use this one very often.
Wait, is everyone back, or are we missing anyone?
Dylan?
I'm like here, but I'm doing something else right now. I'm working on pilot stuff.
Ah.
I'm doing a cross-country flight tonight.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Going all the way down to Carlsbad.
Doing a Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I have a fair amount I need to keep track of now.
It's fun, isn't it?
Also, Kato, I thought of another thing I can do with Quicken Spell.
Right.
Bonus action, Steel Wind Strike, action, Green Flame Blade.
True. Oh my god. I've seen loads of first posts about one of the characters in Final Fantasy XIV. It's so fun. It's so funny following Final Fantasy XIV and like seeing all the really stupid fucking discourse about it. Like, it's really brought out the racists.
Should have.
What's going on now?
Just how in the new Final Fantasy XIV expansion, it's really brought out the racists. Because it's based in, like, South America.
Oh, so racists just being dumbasses. Okay, that's pretty standard.
It's just stupid.
Yep, sounds about right.
Have you sorted out your flight, Dylan?
Well, no, but we can continue.
Alright, so you've all been gathered together as you are in the Centralis. You're at this basically war table, which is like, it's got a map of the continent. Let's just say it's this one. Fuck it. Again, these are the red dots are where the points were about like where the soldiers have been stationed to your knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
In the room is of course Rua, Zaras, Guy, Tarim, Oryx, Jade, and a few other people who you haven't spoken to ever before, but you've seen them before, like just around the castle and like various admin people. Because to be fair, you're all more affiliated with the lower tier district anyway. So yeah. So Zaras just kind of goes over things again, a brief overview on how the areas over here, like all the dots represent like where we know the forces to be. The boats seem to be circling around the coasts of the country. They haven't, to their knowledge, made port in the neutral point, but there's an embassy there in the neutral point anyway with soldiers. So it's safe to say that they might, if not already blockade it, then who knows? You notice though Akra conspicuously isn't there with you. Like he's not returned since going back to his what do you call it?
Orphanage.
To his
Does Akra need to be here for the discussion of the plan, or will we discuss it and then he'll be made aware of it?
So Oryx mentions he should be back. He was only going to visit them for a bit and then he was going to return.
Can someone send a sending, or is that the tribe?
I'm a fucking idiot, thank you, Daron. There's a reason why we keep you around.
It's not my dashing good looks.
You're at least good at making dash. You're at least good at dashing.
Fair enough.
He like waves his hand as if he's clearly joking. And after a few moments, he visibly frowns.
I think that's a concerning look.
Apparently, the orphanage was attacked.
I look over at Rua. Is Jade there?
Jade's there as well. Rua and Jade aren't happy to hear that. But then Oryx says he was able to fend them all off. None of the kids got hurt. but he's not joining you guys until you actually meet him by the crossroads. Because he wants to stay behind and make sure that nothing happens until you guys get there to meet him. Oh wait, and then Oryx holds up a hand. I'm getting another sending. Oh. And he looks to you guys, the party. You're friends with the Bloodblade Orc Kemp, correct?
That's
Friends is a term for it.
that's the Prody
You're
one,
still-
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You like Brody at the War Beast?
Brody's great. Warby's
Apparently
great.
that also got attacked.
I'm not surprised. Okay. You should
From
have
what-
expected.
From what the reports have said, no one was there when it was investigated. Like no orcs were there.
Like any bodies or anything? Any.
Yeah,
Huh.
which is hopefully a good thing.
Yeah, hopefully.
We should. If we have time, we should probably just send a sending to Brody. But let's. For now, we can't do much from here. So. Oryx, can we continue?
Of course. He then takes a step forward and actually says, based on how many black dragons were actually killed when they made their initial attack to, cause chaos, I can from what I saw, and from what Akra mentioned, we counted about 15 black dragons that left that weren't killed. Of course, that doesn't mean that the dragons that were killed and the ones that escaped are the full fighting force, but that many black dragons of that size would be impossible not to notice. Which is why, regardless of anything, my intention is to be your aerial defense. I'll be there to keep any dragons away from any of the Griffin Riders and from the soldiers on the ground.
That's appreciated.
Zaris then chimes in. The intent is for us to split into at least two forces. One which would be traveling along the main road through Tenoyama, from here going down across the border on the main road, and then also passing around Toketo Tower to then try and get through along the side road. From what Hayato has said, based on his intelligence, it has been suspiciously unguarded. We have reason
like
to
a trap.
believe that the port town has been occupied and is being used as a vantage point. Or they're at least finding ways to keep an eye on that area. So if anyone tries to pass through, they'll probably be able to, stop anyone. The idea, however, was that for that to be a small but temporary diversion, so that the forces at the ports can't merge or pincer us when any of our forces try to cross the border from the main road. However, with the support of our forces and also our allies, with Tenoyama bringing their infantry and griffins and griffin riders, Colodnia Paul doing their best to provide sabotaging efforts and also bringing some of their infantry troops, Pahala also offering the might of some of their orcs and the rest of their military, what left they can use after trying to clean up what happened with the Dracolich piece, as well as a recent addition in the form of a Lafukin from Dragon's Throne, the Prince. We have a variety of forces that should allow us to punch through, allowing you four, you five even, as he points to you, the party, and Rua, as well as Akra, to get in. Unfortunately, because there would be forces everywhere, and they also have the terrain advantage, we can't guarantee you any help once you actually get near Rainwall, and also find a way to get into the Imperium. At that point, you're on your own, unfortunately. When we have confirmation that you've entered the capital, at least, we'll be pulling back our forces. Any objections?
Seems like a pretty thorough strategy to me.
Oryx does add in. We was devising any plans to see if we could make any of the terrain weaker or more... what's the word? More volatile. Given the fact that there's many rivers travelling through the area, and also the kind of terrain being extremely muddy, we were trying to figure out ways to have any means to disturb the ground. Unfortunately, though, there aren't many druids in Centralis. A lot of the druids that we know of would either live in the Aster Forest, which are generally very solitary anyway. We would have we did actually try and work once. We wanted to work with the Bloodblade Orcs to see if they would offer some of their druids. But, well, given they seem to have been attacked and maybe displaced, if not been captured, the only other support we could get from a large amount of druids is the druid circles in Star Meadow. However, their efforts are being used to help look after the country after what happened with the undead crisis. So we're kind of fucked on that plan. I mean, I have Meteor Swarm, but I can't guarantee that our allies will be safe, and the problem is that would make the terrain harder for any of us to get through as well. Also, we don't want to scorch the earth.
No, that would kind of defeat the purpose of overthrowing the tyrants.
Rua does actually chime in and says, the idea is that we want to liberate Blackring so that they can continue living there. We don't want to have a refugee crisis. Not that there's anything wrong with taking them in, but we want to make sure that they can live there safely, and all we need to do is bring support in.
Yes, naturally scorched earth tactics are right out.
Also, we aren't them.
Precisely.
We aren't trying to rule the world. I hope, as he looks around the table, with a smile.
We're just girls trying to rule the world.
Well, so wait, the song that says that everyone wants to rule the world is lying?
Apparently so.
The more accurate song is Nobody Wants to Live Forever.
Who wants to live
want to run the world?
But yes.
Who runs the world? Girls.
So, yeah, unless you have any particular things you want to mention, like any strategies that they haven't maybe considered, feel free to bring it up. But, although I was just going to say what are you going to say, Mel?
I'm going to cast Sending to Prody with this message.
Exactly 25. Very nice.
Yeah, it took some doing.
You do get a message back.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
That's the reply you get.
Oof.
You share with the class?
I mean, yeah. Though it obviously is somewhat unspecific as to where they got displaced to.
And they probably don't have maps, do they?
Oh, not.
I mean, it's not shocking that they would go after Akira's orphanage and the orc tribe that we're affiliated with, but still.
Boom.
I'm not worried about. I'm not necessarily worried about an enemy in our midst feeding information. There's nothing here that would suggest.
Rua does cross his arms, and as he's looking at the map adds, we have actually been doing a lot of internal investigating just to see if any plans have been leaking. From what I can tell, everyone in this room is above board. And if anything leaks out, we'll know it's someone in this group. And I'm railing out you four, as he looks to you guys, the party, because, well, it'd be very hard to replace you guys.
To be the bearer, not to state the obvious here, but what about the weapons?
What about them? There's nothing we can do if that's the case.
And like that could be an avenue in which he and
I mean, in that case, he's been keeping an eye on everyone through your equipment for a long time, and so far he's not made any visible strategies that indicate he has that knowledge. He might, but we don't know, and if he does, there's nothing we can do about it. That's why our plans are supposed to be simple. We're not doing anything crazy, we're not trying to be clever, because clever plans don't generally work. It's easier to go with something simple that everyone can be on board with, and we're not having to rely on specific people or conditions that might not go our way. The idea is to cause as much chaos as possible, so a small group can push in, and given our group contains us 5, who've done training with the strongest person on this planet, who, you know, is also travelling with us, and heck, we've fought Akira multiple times during our sparring. We know how strong he is, and we know how strong we are when we were handling him. And unlike them, we've actually been training and fighting different things. Our experience as, well, travellers and adventurers has become more so than what they could hope to catch up with. There's only so much training you can do one-on-one with each other before you stagnate. I mean, that's the whole point of why Akira only had us train for 6 months and not a whole year.
I'm in agreement here.
I know what you mean, and I completely understand. The point is we need to make sure this works. We can't afford a second chance.
No do-overs.
Even
Makes
if
sense.
Even if it wasn't for the fact that we might permanently lose Kurogane, we still can't afford to try again anyway at that point. If we lose too many of our forces, it just means that Evan has an easier time of taking over everywhere. Especially if you guys die and lose the Dracolich pieces.
That would not be ideal. Yeah.
Which is why we aren't going to fail.
Precisely.
Unless anyone else has anything to say, and he looks to everyone, Do we want to call this meeting adjourned?
Thing, and we can like skip this if this actually got said or not. How much do we want to risk contacting Layla?
I mean, you could contact her if you wanted to. There's nothing stopping you. You did say anyway that you had a vision, I should say, where she was speaking to Kuro, right?
Yes, that would be the rationale here.
I was sharing that information with everyone during the time that we all had our break for 2 days. And, well, Turim actually then chimes in. It's an idea. If you think it would help, then yeah. It's like we have to tell Layla any specific plans. At worst, she'll tell her people that were invading the country, which it's clear to see that they're already expecting that.
It's just the question more or less is, would it be worth getting?
I was actually
having inside agents.
I was going to ask if any of you wanted to message that Colgan and ask him if he'd be willing to assist.
I don't want to risk.
Recruits.
We don't want to risk the cult. They don't. My guess is they don't want to fuck with Eben.
Understood. I mean, you've
Probably the right call.
You know, I mean, hey, between me, Turim gestures to himself, and you guys, you've had more dealings with the cult.
I will be frank. I'm going to be honest here. The cult has no benefit to assisting us, except to extend its own resources. Whereas it's watching its two greatest thorns, Eben and us, expend ourselves in a contest, leaving them more.
Give them more details. They'll know exactly where we are when we have expended ourselves most.
Exactly. And we run the risk of having whoever comes out of this conflict is already going to.
I mean, considering my tower was already made abandoned because they invaded it, and now that the Bloodblades have been displaced, it's entirely possible that the entire north of Cordis could easily be overtaken by them anyway.
We don't need to give them more of a reason, or to have leverage on us.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yes, if you think it's wise to message that Layla, then go for it.
I don't know if it should be Dairon.
I mean, Dairon can't do sending. You're not the one who can. Turim was just saying it for any of you guys to do it. Do you want to do a sending?
Felix looks at Seamus.
I could do a sending, but what do you guys need sent?
What are you wearing? No one says that.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
Only real ones remember the OG.
I imagine Guy tries to do it in the same vein that Kuro would, but doesn't get the delivery right, and so it just seems weird.
To be honest, you should hold off, if I'm honest, is my thought.
I'm gonna play it
So
safe.
no sending.
Don't send now.
So no head?
No. We do the sending later, once we're closer.
That's good.
We give as little time as possible for Eben to find out. But also give Layla enough lead time so that she can rally her forces and cause havoc.
I mean, Brewer then says we could do it by the time we get to Crossroads. Because we'll be having to stay there for a couple of days anyway to merge our forces with Tenoyama and Kolodnia Paul.
why don't we do it? Why don't we contact her as we're about to head to the city?
To Black Crane?
Yes.
I mean, we could. It's just the problem is that if she, I mean, Brewer just says, I'm speculating here, but the thing is, if she starts doing anything, she has nowhere to go within the Imperium. We went there and we saw what it was like. I can't imagine how easy it would be for her to hide, given that. Let's assume for every one of her, there's like 50. Like 49 other people who are, you know, like, indoctrinated. It'd be very hard, I would think, for her to, like, hide out if she only had that much time. Especially if she was trying to do anything, whereas at least if we gave her more time, she could at least plan. Again, this is me speculating. It's...
Yes.
I mean, you guys have the sending spell. If you think it's more sensible, feel free to do it. This is we're all equals in this room.
No, it's a good thought. I just trying to limit.
Yeah, and there's nothing... We're here to iron out these details now before we go, and then it's too late to change our minds.
If Leela asks for a pardon or some kind of whatever, would we be authorized to give that?
As King of Cordis, which feels really cringe to say, so I hope I never have to say this again anytime soon.
You are the
You-
king, so I don't think that's not on the table.
You know, but the point is, I'm at least willing to not only give her a fair trial, but if she's willing to help us in the restoration of Black Crane as a whole, she would be allowed to not be jailed or serve time.
Okay. That's worth something.
If you want to send in Drick and the other leaders, feel free to do so and get their opinions. But we did actually contact them all, and that was actually something we did bring up. Because again, I knew about this while you guys were doing your resting. And he holds up his fingers, well, on his one actually usable hand, Siltanok, Pahala, Kolodnia Paul, and Tennoyama said they would be also willing to pardon her.
Right.
So,
That's good to know. That will help with negotiations, at least.
Hayato was actually the first to reply back and said he would be willing to let her be pardoned.
Why don't we think about this? Oh, we'll table this for now and we'll readdress this at the crossroads, shall we?
Of course. So, if this meeting is to be adjourned, we'll be all having 3 days to prepare, and then we'll be heading out to Crossroads. And so, as the meeting gets adjourned, we are going to be skipping ahead in time, as I also find some music. Is this the one I want you to use? I mean, I won't know until this ad ends. I need to get an ad blocker. Every time I want to get an ad blocker, I keep hearing like, oh, talking about ad blockers make Jack leave. I see how it is. Yeah,
Jack
as I was
really
saying,
loves that ad dollars.
every time I want to get an ad blocker, I'm like, oh yeah, I should get an ad blocker. I keep seeing stuff about like, oh, YouTube's updated their shit to be like, you know.
So...
And so yeah, then
The
it
most-
all just spilled out
Yeah.
everywhere. No, just because Jack came back.
I do get that issue occasionally on Chrome, but I've never gotten that issue on Firefox.
Right.
What's you
That's
talking
fine,
about
then. Ad blockers.
now?
Here's the new music, by the way,
Yeah.
Mel.
That was basically unintelligible.
What just was that?
I hate my.
Oh, fuck.
Can you hear me?
I mean, we can hear you, we can't understand you.
Fuck!
That was very clear.
Yeah, there wasn't much translation needed there, was there?
I mean, I actually heard him yell fuck very clearly.
Yeah.
I'm just measuring how far the distance is between Centralis to Crossroads, so we know how much time is actually passing.
Yeah.
I'm going to round that to 614 miles, which would take you 25 days.
Oh.
So, you ship out, you get your... Well, you're actually in a trail of multiple carts. Yours is at the front, though, because, well, here's the thing. You guys are some of the strongest people in this fighting force. So it helps for you guys to be at the front in case anything happens. Coming with you, in terms of notable characters, is Tora, actually, Guy, Jade, Tristina, Oryx, and who else? Yeah, that's it, actually.
Pretty loaded lineup.
They're going to be with you up until, like, you actually invade Black Crane, because they're going to be... Some of them are going to be part of the diversion force. They do need to keep some people behind, though, to look after, you know, the city in case it gets attacked. Zaris is staying behind, so he can, like, coordinate with you guys and order the guards. And because he's also one of the strongest fighters, it helps have someone who is quite strong stay behind.
Is he okay with that decision?
He actually wanted to go, but Tora convinced him for him to go and for Zaris to stay behind.
He is a kid. Makes sense.
Funnily enough, Oriana didn't even factor into the conversation.
Wow.
Because, yeah.
Zaris is probably the strongest person around, besides, you know, the literal gods.
Fun fact, you guys are actually on his level in terms of character levels. You are just as, if not potentially stronger than him now. It's just that he's also having Tristina here, Ration, Sora.
Yeah, we've severely limited the military power. We represent the bulk of the military power here.
Yeah. The thing is, as well, you know that when it comes to Pahola and the small contribution they can offer, it's actually bringing soldiers to help protect Centralis. So that Cordis can afford to bring their might in.
Are we worried about both Edmund taking the opportunity?
So from what you know, and what you are... Well, this would be stuff you'd be told on the way. Basically, Bo Vetman is actually handling naval invasion.
Okay,
It's like
so
if any shit...
we are trusting them.
The idea is since the rest of the countries on this landmass, you know, Cordis, Kolodniapol, Tenoyama, are trusting the other three countries on the other landmass to protect Theria, effectively. You know that Torrent is good for anything. He is, you know, he's chill. Bo Vetman, you have a shaky relationship with them, obviously. But, how do I describe it? They could betray you guys, but they're also sandwiched between Pahola and Siltanok.
So it'd be bad, yeah, basically.
Yeah, it wouldn't be sensible for him to do it. Not only
Sorry,
that, but
Dairon's Spy Master brain is like leaking
not
into
only
me.
that, but Oryx has a teleportation circle in Bovetment, so he could just come in and start dropping meteor swarms and going scorched earth on their asses. Like, it's funny to think about it, but Oryx is actually kind of a really good deterrent. Because as much of a dick as Oryx is, he's actually not evil. He's very much good. Also, you guys are around, and you don't... Apart from the Slayers taking a couple of the mercenary groups, you don't really know anyone who's noticeably, like... In terms of power, that's, like, on your level in terms of, like, fighting from there. So, that's also a factor. But yeah, so... As you head out, and you make your way to the crossroads... I want all of you to give me 3 perception checks, and this will basically be effectively watches with everyone.
Each 3.
So we'll do Gen first, then you can roll next, Seamus.
Also, somewhere along our travels, should I summon our greater steed?
You can summon the Greatest Seed, yeah. You would have had plenty of
Yeah.
time anyway before, like, you would have left.
That
Yeah.
9, that 13, that 13.
I'll do Rua's perception rolls.
Your is our live.
Nope.
Sorry, what?
Nope. That was nothing.
Sorry, dude. We'll be wrapping up soonish anyway, so don't worry.
Jack,
But if you can
type
hear
it
me,
out.
Jack. Yeah. Also, if you can, Jack, give me the perception rolls after Felix is done.
It's not like that stuff was has ever been my expertise. So
I mean, to be fair, you're in a party with like Dairon and Rua and Seamus, who all are like the 3 gods of perception in this party.
yeah, I don't really. As long as one of them is doing a perception check, I don't really sweat them.
Rua's actually got the best perception. He has an expertise, and he's focused in wisdom.
Yeah. I'm
Jack,
probably
you
the next
here?
strongest.
Oh. TFSMP. Oh. So yeah, roll 20's taking time.
Good old roll 20.
But yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So this is a general average anyway for the whole. So it's not like, the first set of rolls is a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally, you don't encounter anything. As you are passing by, you do, in the distance, see the Bloodblade Orc camp. And you do see what looks like most of it has been completely devastated. Although you can't really afford to, like, take a detour. Eventually, you... what's the way to describe it? You eventually make your way to the crossroads. At this point, because you've never actually... The only people who would have been to the crossroads would have been Seamus and Felix. Because, like... Actually, no. You would have went to the crossroads when you were heading to... Did you head to Crossroads when you were going to the Dracolich piece in Tennoyama?
Did we?
I don't remember. It's been a while, but I'll still describe it anyway
Yeah.
for the sake of it. So you head there. It's basically like a small town. It's very much got like... It's got 3 gates at each entrance. the mountains in the area do a good job of like keeping the area kind of boxed in, but in such a way where it's more like it's a good defensive position. It'd be very hard to break in. Especially because when it gets into winter, Crossroads gets a lot of the cold from Colonia Pole and ends up ends up getting almost as snowy as the capital does during winter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's extremely foolish to invade during the winter, and even then it's still a good defensive position. When you get there, you do see, as you're led into sort of one of the main, like... Because there's like a town hall building, and you get led into there, and you do see Drick and Akra and Hayato all speaking to each other. As you're led inside, you do see... you approach them, and they all give you a wave. Hayato says, my friends, it's good to see you all again. It's a shame we had to meet under these circumstances, however.
Yeah, it would have been better if we could have, had a nice meetup without a war, but, it is what it is.
I mean, I was going to say about my brother potentially being dead already.
I wasn't going to say it.
I'm fine with invading Black Rain. Not as like a... This isn't me being warmongery, it's more just, the fuckers at the top that had it coming. You know?
So, Seamus, it's your old friend Hayato, you should talk, yeah.
Yeah. As you're led to like a table, which again basically has this same kind of map with the same like bullet marks on where the forces of Black Rain are, Drick then chimes in and says, we've had some of our soldiers trying to infiltrate the front lines. A few of them have been caught, and thankfully we did have the sense to give them some explosives on their person. And, I mean, it's genuinely awful to say, and I'm not happy about this, but we have actually managed to disable some of their supply lines, at least. To my knowledge, the forces within Onyx have actually been stopped because of what we've done. Our soldiers were able to torch some of the carts with oil. So, if all goes well, we shouldn't actually get any merging forces from Onyx, unless any of them have the means to fly, or at least move extremely fast on the ground. What this means is that we should only, at worst, need to worry about pinching from Black Rain's port. Oh, poor Jack. Hayato then adds, we've secured about 30 griffins to use with your forces and our own. Each of the griffins will be having one of our riders and some of your soldiers acting as sharpshooters and spellcasters. Although I believe you're already informed of this, but this is more affirming the plan, In addition, we're bringing some of our best samurais and soldiers with you. We're also, for the sake of helping Akra here, sending some of our soldiers to protect his orphanage. And we also have some of our soldiers ready to bring in first aid and supplies to help with the restoration of Black Rain. Is there anything else you want to know? Guys?
I'm thinking, sorry.
Alright.
Felix has kind of stuck his foot in his mouth right now, so he's sort of, not willing to interact.
At this point, I think I'm better suited to not hearing any more of the plans and just acting.
Hmm.
If I'm honest, I will leave the rest. I'm a better spy than I am a general.
No problem.
I can find information for you, but
Yeah, that's fine. Besides, this is more for you to trust in being able to keep going forward. Because we do ask you to not need to come back.
no,
The only reason you should be turning back is if there's too much of a blockade and you need to go around it.
Can I have explosives?
We're actually providing we're providing support from the air with explosives. We would ask that you don't carry any in case they try to blow up any on you. We also want you guys to be as light in gear as possible, just in the case that anything needs to happen and you need to do stuff like quick camping or, any last minute adjustments. Also, hi, Jack. Can you hear us now?
Return from the dead.
They're just
Yes.
so they're in the crossroads. They're just more or less affirming the plan with what's going on. Darren just mentioned about having explosives, but Hayato's just mentioned that to not let you guys have anything like that in case you get attacked and they blow up on you instead. Because also just to help you guys travel light. Because the thing is, you're also going to be going into heavy rain and mud. So having gear that could add to being cumbersome isn't going to be helpful. The point is for the air support to mean you don't need to carry anything like that on your person. Especially when, like, Felix and Seamus, and Rua, because of his Magitech arm, have enough kind of explosive firepower anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Unless you guys can think of any last minute adjustments to the plan, we're all going to be taking a day rest. And then, if all goes well, we'll be heading out immediately. We'll be leaving bright and early at about 5 in the morning, if possible. So make sure you get early nights.
I don't have much to add, so.
Yeah. Again, even it's not like you have to contribute. This is more, you hearing the plan, and if you can think of anything that's helpful, you can interject. But as the GM, I've actually been working on a lot of this plan anyway. Because, I want these generals to sound like they know what they're talking about. As you're sort of like allowed to separate, you do get a chance to talk to any of the characters here if you want to. Because now that you can talk to Akra again, or Hayato or Drick.
Remind me, who's Drick?
He's the leader of Colored Neopol, Bugbear.
Okay, thank you.
You've not really had much of a chance to speak to him, because not only is he quite reserved, but, like, you didn't go to the capital when you dealt with the Dracolich piece.
Yeah, I think our main interactions with him were at the neutral point, and then...
Yeah.
Was it at the neutral point where he glassed the Satyr?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
As you guys kind of, like, sojourn, Hayato does actually come back over to you guys. So, I hope you appreciate the planning. A lot of this was on my end, at least with the Griffins and stuff, because again, we've had many, many plans and stuff drafted for if we ever did need to come to terms with Black Rain. Also, don't feel awkward, by the way, Felix. Honestly, it's fine. I wish I could join you guys, but,
Hmm.
you know,
It
We need
makes
some peop-
sense.
all I can do is ask you, as his brother, and as your friends, to please save him if you can. And if you can't, then
We'll make sure that we'll get him back.
thank you.
Come hell or high water.
Thank you. And then, once that's dealt with, we could all have a feast. I know I could do some good grub after this.
It'd be nice to take a bit of a rest after that as well. Everything's been going to hell.
Yeah. We've been working with Pahla a lot lately, actually. We've been sending them aid, and, you know, we've been making made some good friends amongst the people of Pahla. We've even had some of our soldiers be sent to Pahla for training with stuff like rough terrain, like sand. And they've come to us so they can have training with mountainous areas.
Yeah, those deserts really did take some getting used to.
I can imagine. I visited there a few years ago before I became Peak Soul, and I wasn't a fan of the temperature. Although I had the misfortune of having to go during the summer.
Hmm. I also wouldn't go. I wouldn't advise going while they had a mummy apocalypse going on. Really,
I
sort
mean-
of messed with the energy of the place.
I can imagine that would kill the vibe.
I have unfinished business.
Well, unless you have anything else for me, I have to organise stuff with my men. I'll leave you to it and let you get some rest. It was good talking to you again, though.
Just know if you need anything for us.
Likewise. Yeah. So, Akra just kind of come back to you guys like he is with you now as well. And yeah. It's good to know you made it here safe, though. If needed, I was going to meet you guys on the way, but
No.
Do you happen to run into a bunch of orcs?
no, I didn't see the Bloodblade camp when I was on my way. I completely went off road.
Where?
When I can run up walls and climb over them with ease, I don't need to follow the roads. Generally, when I go through cities, unless I'm really taking my time, I generally go through a straight line. And that includes just climbing over buildings to keep going. But at least my kids are safe, though. That I can be happy about.
Yeah.
It gave me a use for my fence posts, though. Pretty grisly what I did, but I basically took the heads of all the people I killed and lined them up so anyone from a good enough distance would see them first before they saw the orphanage and know to go away.
Good for you.
You know,
That's
if
very
I'm
cathartic.
honest, I kind of expected that when you said fence posts.
Yeah.
Sounds cathartic. Kind of jealous.
I mean, I don't enjoy killing, honestly. When
I
I'm
feel that.
fighting, I like people who can actually fight back. Training with you guys is actually some of the most fun I've had in ages. It's just that I'll kill if I absolutely have to, especially if it means making sure that innocent people don't get hurt. Because them kids have done nothing wrong.
Hmm.
And anyone who hurts them, well, you've seen how I fight. But, nevertheless, it's going to be fun invading a country. This will be the third time I've helped deal with liberating a country. Yeah, third time. Crazy.
Out of curiosity, is there anything you haven't done, just in case, we somehow come across it and we can let you tick something else off your list?
He crossed his arms. Well, I've actually invented something. I've had sex. I've had a child. I've been to court. I've been a lawyer. But that was more because I looked exactly the same as this other lawyer, and I just winged it. I've beat...
Say something silly like Phoenix Wrong or something.
I've beat a Fey Queen in a game of cards without even knowing how the game is played. I've travelled back in time once. I've killed the son of a god. I think I can't think of anything that I've not done. Oh, I've not wrote a book.
I'm sure we could help you do that.
I mean, heck, I know Seamus is good at writing lyrics for considering you're a bard. You could always write prose, and you could always do the illustration, Felix.
Yeah.
That could work.
Darren, Aldane, I'm sure we'll find some way for you to contribute.
Well, look, I'm fine with whatever, so don't mind me.
I'll help as best I can.
It's fine. You've already helped enough with the kids, and, we're all friends here. All we need to focus on is punching through, getting to the Imperium, and killing Eben. Oh, that's the thing, actually. I've not killed every kind of colour of dragon.
Is black on that list?
Surprisingly, no, I've not.
Well, here's how Aldane and I help.
The only colours I've not done is black. I've not killed a black dragon. I've not killed a brass dragon or a copper dragon.
Those are hard to find.
I mean, generally, I have no reason to fight most metallic dragons. That's more of the problem.
True.
Well, fight and kill, I should say. I have fought a copper dragon once, but not to the death. The problem is with fighting, when you're so strong, it gets to the point where a lot of people want to marry you off to their children. God, the amount of marriage proposals I've had in my day. Heck, my first kiss was stolen by a tiefling. Actually, no, wait. I've liberated 4 countries. And that was one of my rewards for liberating one of those countries.
Damn.
You've lived a weird life.
I mean, I didn't ask for the kiss, and I wasn't even attracted to her. Apparently, I just have something that attracts women. He just shrugs. I must have done something to get the woman I love anyway. Although that probably helps that I swam to the bottom of a frozen river to get her out. In fact, she actually used to hate me. That's a long story, though.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll tell you guys about it. Well, maybe she could tell you when you guys meet her someday. Heck, if we all die and get in the land of the dead, we'll probably meet her.
So I was gonna make the joke, but I didn't know how good taste that would have been.
No, don't worry, Darren. I'll always make the joke. No one can really tell me off. What are they gonna do? Kick my ass?
Yeah, we're gonna try and avoid the plan A of meeting your wife by dying.
She's not my wife, actually. We never got married.
Meeting your partner.
There we go.
Meeting your partner by dying. That's definitely not plan A at this stage.
Obviously not.
It's plan D at least.
I mean, one of the plans I actually said with them is that if all goes to shit, I'm just going to start dropping my big damage spells, and that if it gets to the point where we're all going to die anyway, then who cares? Like, Scorched Earth, I think, is plan X?
I thought it was plan Z.
No, plan Z is to sink the entire country into the ocean.
We really needed to get a folder from Hayate.
Like, Scorched Earth isn't the end plan, because after all, you could just re-till the fields. Actually sinking it under the water would be worse.
No, plan Y is
So,
Plan Y is actually opening up a planar hole and hoping something big enough goes in that it takes the country out. And then we can kill the thing that takes the country out.
so a Tarask.
I mean, maybe we could borrow the one from the cult.
oh boy.
I mean, what are they going to do? They can't stop me. Feels weird that I can just say that and it actually would be true. Sometimes it's easy to forget I've killed, like, a deity and all the other stuff I've done. Like, I mean, heck, I killed that Bahia you guys fought when I wasn't even 100 years old. Ah, youth. Actually, you know what is a thing I'd love to do? I'd love to do the Tenoyama Beef Bowl Challenge.
I'm sure Seamus can arrange something for you.
I mean, heck, I heard all the way from the other. I heard from the other end of the room that Hayato was mentioning about a feast. Maybe I could do that at the same time.
Yeah.
I believe the biggest. I think the record of that country is at least like 32 bowls. I could crush that, I think. Who knows? But yes. For now, though, if you need me, I'll be helping with keeping an eye out for any Black Rain people, soldiers, whatever, that try and attack us first before we can invade.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate it.
And he race walks out. Not because he's feeling awkward and wants to leave, he just walks naturally fast anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Bearing in mind, half his speed is your maximum movement speed for some of you guys. Not with dashing, though. I mean, even if you dash, you still can't match him in speed.
I think the closest is Rua.
Rua's got 55 movement speed. Akura has, what, 70, I think it is?
Akura is ludicrous. Just saying.
Like, I think the speed goes Akura, then Rua, and then me in a distant third place.
Yeah. In terms of ground movement, Seamus is up there because of Dimension Door.
Right.
But, like, Seamus can't do that multiple times, whereas Akura has the stamina to just keep moving over 70 speed a turn. But that's another thing. Anyway, though, enough theory crafting. We don't want to get into last session. But yes, as you all get an opportunity to rest, I'm going to say we can call it a session here, because I want the next session to be the invasion of Black Rain.
Okay.
Or sessions, depending on how things go.
Well, I don't believe we're having a session next weekend. Yeah, we're not next weekend.
Yeah, not next weekend, because Jack and I have to do the anime stream on Sunday next weekend. But the week after should be fine.
Fair enough. Or, what if Dairon and Felix are doing the podcast while they're in the middle of invading Black Rain?
You know, Dan?
Yeah, Aldane and Felix. have them do the stream, and they can be invading Black Crane. Just truncate both. No, that's fine then. To be fair, that'll give me a break to actually sort out the invasion properly.
Yeah. Okay, with that, that is it for the stream today. So thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. In terms of future stuff, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, please do give us a follow here on Twitch and all that YouTube stuff.
Like, subscribe, comment down below, bell icon, etc.
And otherwise, hopefully we shall see you on Tuesday. Good night.
Good night.
Later.